A quick aside. So something interesting and relevant happened on this day 72 years ago? How many? No, 52 years ago.
46?
No, 52. How many years ago is that?
52 to now is
62 years ago?
61.
61 years ago. It's only 2013? Man, it's going to be a long year. Anyway, so in the 2012 presidential election, after the election, people were saying, well, who really won the election was Nathan Silver, who runs the 538 blog, where he uses all these mathematical models to predict the outcome of both which way states were going to go and what the margin was going to be between the electors. So this was, in 1952, they had the idea that the UNIVAC, which was the sort of commercial realization, first commercial computer built by the guys who had built the ENIAC under the Department of Defense contract. And NBC News thought it would be fun to see if they could use the computer to predict the outcome of the 1952 presidential election between Eisenhower and Adlai Stevenson. So they hired a statistician to sort of write some code that would look at the election returns coming in from the polls and extrapolate based on prior year's elections which way each one was going to go. And they were going to have like a NBC nightly news thing where they would check in with the computer and see what its prediction was. So they did this, and the computer came up with a prediction that Eisenhower was going to win by a landslide, like I wrote down the numbers actually, 438 to 93 electoral votes. And the odds against that happening, according to the pundits, it was going to be a really close race, and it was worse than 100 to 1 odds that it would be that much of a landslide. So the actual numbers they gave on the air were fudged because they told the statistician, could you change your algorithm so that the answer comes out more like what the pundits think is going to be, they think it's going to be a really close race. So can you tweak your algorithm so that the numbers come out closer? So he kind of did that, and then they reported that number. And when the results were really counted, the predicted version was within like 3% of reality. The landslide was actually even a bigger landslide than had been predicted. And it got all the states right and stuff like that. So NBC later went on the air and said, you know what? This is our fault. We didn't believe that number could possibly be right. We didn't want to be embarrassed. So instead, we basically announced this fake number. But the truth is the computer had it right all along. And that was, from that time forward, every election cycle, all of the major networks would start using computers to do prediction of poll results and stuff like that. So it's kind of a milestone in computer history. This was a computer you could buy for $1 million, which is about the equivalent of $8 million in today's dollars in terms of adjusted buying power. It ran at 1 kips, that's 1 kilo instruction per second. It's about 5,000 vacuum tubes running at 1,000 instructions per second. But still, people were blown away, right? That it came out with this outlandish prediction, which actually turned out to not only be absolutely correct, but it showed that the pundits really had no idea what they were talking about, thereby establishing a tradition that exists to this day. So that's my computer history minute for November 4th.